the cloud. Sorry about that. Just to let everyone know, we are recording. This is so that the minutes could be annotated and we can also put it on Facebook. We've gotten a lot of great reviews that people like that they can see it on Facebook, because the times that we have this meeting, a lot of people are unable to attend. So we have our executive board, our PTA presidents, myself and Mr. Jones. We have the vice president, Ms. Crystal Brown, our co-treasurers, Mr. Christopher Sandor and Ms. Marie-Helene Attwood, and our recording secretary, Ms. Maggie Sandor, as well as our newly represented corresponding secretary, Ms. Heather Hawley. We have the SLT team, which is a majority of executive board with the exception of Ms. Alston and Ms. Jones. And then we have our Title I team, who is Ms. Samantha Filbert and Ms. Lakia Jones. Does anybody, before we move on, does any of the team want to introduce themselves? PTA team and SLT team.
Sure, I'm Maggie Sandor. I'm the recording secretary. My son's in 9th grade, or 10th grade.
Hi, I'm Crystal Brown. I'm the vice president of the PTA, as well as a member of the SLT team, and my son is in the 12th grade.
Hi, I'm Heather Hawley. I'm the corresponding secretary. My daughter's a freshman this year, 9th grade.
And I'm Chris Sandor, one of the co-treasurers, and my son is also in the 10th grade.
Good afternoon. My name is George Jones, and I'm the co-chair, PTA president, and my son is in the 10th grade.
And I am Miss Leah Scott. My son is in the 11th grade. Yes, 11th grade. And we're going to now move on. I just saw that Miss Speir is on. If she is ready, we can go to her presentation.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. We'll go and start with your presentation, and then we'll do the reading of the minutes after you're done.
Okay, so we're going to go to the, okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can, give me 1 second, see if I can switch presentations. All right,
Yep,
did that work?
See it. Yep,
Great.
we see it.
Great. Just tell me next and I'll hit, I'll move on.
Ms. Speir, please introduce yourself, the importance of your role, and what you have to offer to the school. Thank you very much.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'll be presenting on the NYU Langone School-Based Health Center today. It's located within your school building. Thank you for allowing me to join you this afternoon. I'll introduce myself. So my name is Lena Speir, and I help with outreach for the school health program. This program is again associated with NYU, and we ensure quality and comprehensive health care for your students, just like in any NYU facility. Next slide, please. So just again, my name's Lena Speir, and I help with outreach for the health program. Next slide. If you are not familiar with the school-based health center, it is a facility within your school building that provides medical, dental, vision, and mental health services for the students within the school. Your particular facility is staffed with a physician assistant and medical associates and a therapist as well. There's often a misunderstanding with school-based health centers that your child doesn't need to enroll if they already have a primary care physician or a pediatrician. I want to make it clear that we do not replace your child's primary care physician. Instead, we complement the services they receive from them, and we communicate with your child's physician. We want to ensure that your child receives the best medical care inside and outside the school. However, if your child does not have a pediatrician or a primary care physician, we can provide the necessary medical care that they would provide. So many parents worry about the cost of a health center. But there's no direct cost to you, even if you don't have insurance. If your child has insurance, school-based health centers can bill the insurance, but you will not receive a bill directly, and there will be no copay. Next slide, please. There are numerous health services available for your child at Abraham Lincoln High School. The medical providers can perform physicals if your child needs one for work papers or sports. Immunizations are available, including the COVID-19 vaccine and the flu shot. We also provide BMI monitoring services with nutrition and exercise counseling. We offer vision services and treatment for acute and chronic conditions. Also, if your child is just sick during the school day with a headache or a stomach ache, they can come to the clinic to get medicine and then return to class. These services allow your child to miss less school, and it prevents the parent from having to miss work. Additionally, mental health services are available. Abraham Lincoln High School has a full-time therapist on site. Telehealth psychiatry evaluations and medication management are also available from our Sunset Terrace site virtually. And these services are especially prevalent as your children cope with the COVID-19 era and return to school amidst the pandemic. Additionally, age-appropriate reproductive services are available for your children. Both medical and mental health services are available in person at the school and online. Next slide, please. So enrolling your child in the program is necessary for us to be able to provide these services. Without your consent, we can only provide emergency services. To enroll, you can either pick up a parental consent form in the main office or in the health center at the school. If English is not your first language, there are forms available in several languages at the school. You can also use our new electronic consent using the link on the slide or by scanning the QR code that I will show later. Also, I will go ahead and send the link in the chat. So the link that I just sent is the link you can use to enroll your child. Additionally, if you are interested in the COVID vaccine for your child, we do that as well. You do not have to be enrolled in the clinic to get the vaccine for your child, and I will send the consent for that right now as well. So to repeat, the first link I sent is the link to the consent for your student to enroll in the health center. The second link is for the COVID-19 vaccine. If you only fill out the COVID consent, your student cannot use our other resources. The school-based health center at Abraham Lincoln High School is located in room B8. The staff at the clinic include physician assistant Rolene Guerriere, medical associates Gloria Arias, David De La Cruz, and Rosalore Pierre. And finally, we have a full-time therapist, Audrey Adams. Next slide. Finally, here's the QR code for the electronic consent. Feel free to scan the code now to enroll your child. Thank you for your time this afternoon. I hope you found this presentation helpful. I will take questions if there are any. And I saw that there was a question about COVID-19 boosters. So at this point, I cannot answer questions regarding the COVID-19 booster. I will contact my supervisor and get back to you about that. But I would assume that they will provide the boosters, but I cannot guarantee an answer on that at this time. Are there any other questions?
Well, if there's any question, I don't see.
Yes,
there you go,
this
yes.
is just for the students, so they can use all of these services during the school day. So it's a great resource for the students at the school.
All right, definitely don't see any questions this time. If there are any questions, we'll definitely forward them on to you. I appreciate your time and your patience. Will you be on at the next session as well?
I will.
Excellent. And we'll do the same thing. As soon as I see you, I'll make sure that we'll pop you right in.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you so much. And
See you
now
later.
before we go on to our next reading, we're going to have our awesome Superman, Mr. Hoogenboom, our principal at Abraham Lincoln, who has been extremely busy this week.
Yes, it's been one of those weeks that in retrospect, they're always kind of fun, but when you're actually doing it, it's not much fun at all. You know, it's like if any of you have ever gone on a really bad vacation or something, you know, you're miserable, but once it's over and you look back at it, it's really more memorable than the good vacations. So I'm only here for the matinee meeting. For the evening, we're having a holiday party for the faculty, and of course some people won't show up because we're all nervous about things. There are really three things that I'd like to share with everyone, and it's the major concerns: COVID, safety, and these racially charged leaflets that were strewn about in front of our building on Monday morning. So let's talk about the easy thing first, which is COVID. Cases are up, and the rumors are flying like you wouldn't believe. And part of the reason why the rumors are flying is that it's almost like when you're on the highway and there's an accident, you know, there's always this rubbernecker kind of thing. And it's, you know, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? And that wasn't helped by the fact that every principal got got a checklist for preparing to go remote that was sent to them yesterday. And they told us to fill it out as soon as possible. And of course, today we get an email saying, oh my, you weren't supposed to think that meant you're going to go remote. We just wanted to be, so it's like somebody saying, you know, the sky is falling, and then saying, no, the sky isn't falling. But the bottom line is that we have had, over the last 7 days, almost 20 cases, and 5 teachers, if I recall correctly, 15 students. The teachers are all vaccinated. So obviously, whether it's this new strain or whether it's the fact that in the winter weather, we're shutting, you know, we shut our windows and stuff like that. Whatever it is, this is no joke. And we really have to be diligent over the winter. I very much don't want the schools to be shut. With the public health response has really been on the back of the teenagers and the working parents. And I hate the idea of going back there. And not only because of just interacting with their peers, the loneliness that teenagers had to endure, but also the learning. You know, foundational skills in math are really lacking. The other subjects not quite as bad, but it's still lacking, and we really need our students in school. So I hope it doesn't happen. I reminded the students today on the PA system that sometimes when you plan for a disaster, a lot of times the disaster doesn't happen. And that old expression, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, is truly valid. Excuse me. If the schools are shut, we are prepared. We were remote before, we can go remote again. But in the meantime, let's really focus on going to school every day, wearing our masks, staying healthy, and moving forward. So that was the lesson I was trying to send to everyone. I also would like to talk about safety for a minute. And of course, we mean both kinds of safety, emotional safety and physical safety. In our building, we've only had 2 fights all year. That is awesome. Of course, ideally, you'd have no fights. 2 fights is amazing. And in my entire time as a principal at Abraham Lincoln High School, it has never been that good. And the reason why is there was the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers way back. He used to say, luck is the residue of design. And I have to give a lot of props to Dave Robinson and to Sean O'Connor, because what they have done is they've designed a system where when somebody is uneasy, where somebody is upset, they get to that student immediately in a positive way. This is with restorative practices. This is having a social worker in the dean's office. This is often having mediations between students when there are quarrels. And as a result, we've really been able to prevent a lot of these fights from happening. And almost all fights are over some kind of a relationship misunderstanding or something, you know, and the more we can get people talking and figuring out what's going on, the better we are. And most brawls that you read about in schools happen because the friends pile into the fight. And so that has to do with when students are having an altercation with adults getting there immediately. One reason why the adults get there immediately is on every floor, there's always a dean at Lincoln. And Sean O'Connor's thinking is he doesn't want a child walking in the halls without seeing an adult. It's that simple. It's just like, you know, when you were a child, you always behaved better when that lady was hanging out of the apartment window looking at everyone in the neighborhood. We always are better behaved when someone is watching us. And our students, our children are just like we were. They do a little bit better and they know how they are supposed to behave. So I'm just thrilled with the job that is being done by our teachers and our counselors. Now, the upsetting thing that happened this week. Early Monday morning, a teacher arriving at school noticed, you know, littered about on the walkway up right by the main entrance, these flyers that had this language that I can't find anything in my office. Here it is. I'll read it to you. Lincoln High School Black kids are a negative influence on the community. They invade apartment buildings and the police needs to be called constantly. There's also a picture, an inflammatory picture that I'm showing as little as possible because it's really it's disgusting. It's of an African-American male with his mouth open, and next to it is a chimpanzee or with its mouth open. Beyond the pale. As soon as we found out about it, Dave Robinson and Renan Ebed ran outside, collected as many of them as they could find. We contacted Council Member Mark Traeger. We contacted, of course, Superintendent Michael Capizzo. We contacted the 60 Precinct and the New York City Hate Crimes Unit. To cut to the chase, the hate crimes detective came, he looked at the surveillance video, because when we looked at our surveillance video, you could see right in front of the main, an individual who was not following CDC guidelines. So the individual was unmasked. And so we have a fairly good picture of the person. Just casually dropping these pages on the ground. 4:18 a.m. The hate crimes guys saw the video. We showed it to the community affairs police because sometimes there are a few local people who are always present, talking about things. They did not recognize the individual. So they are going to print up flyers to try to find the person who perpetrated this outrage, and take the appropriate steps to prosecute the person. In the meantime, Superintendent Prayer strongly felt that even though none of our students, as near as we could see, none of our students have actually seen this, but he felt that it was necessary to have a public response because it's an attack on our values, an attack on who we are. The idea, and I want to back up and say that we have very good relations with the people who run the apartments nearby. As a matter of fact, they used our gym to have a tenants meeting, not our gym, I'm sorry, our auditorium. And if there is a problem, we are contacted. What's amazing is that this year there have not been problems. Prior to the pandemic, we had about 6 to 8 students who were hanging out in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot and had been occasionally going into the lobbies of apartments. And our response was the response we always do. AP O'Connor and I were taking walks over to Neptune Avenue to tell the students, to behave, and we were asking the 6-0 precinct for an increased police presence. Even if a Lincoln student is doing this, the targeting an entire group is just absolutely reprehensible. And so today what we did, the superintendent suggested that we contact somebody in the mayor's office who actually specializes in this kind of stuff. We had a meeting and we did a guidance lesson every student, every class, 5th period today. We shared this language with the students and we asked them to respond in terms of restorative circles. How do you feel? And how you feel is very important because feelings drive what we do. Just when you're feeling good about things, it's amazing how much work you can get done, right? How you'll do the difficult stuff. When you're feeling good about your family, you'll do the dishes and clean the kitchen floor. When you're feeling good about school, you will do that difficult assignment. And when you're feeling good about your fellow human beings, you will reach out and help someone. So we really wanted our students to explore how they felt. And I'm incredibly pleased with how it went. And the idea was not to do it just say in English class or something, because we want every teacher to be involved in this response. And now we want to decide what are our next steps going to be? What are our next steps as a school, as an organization that values all of our students? 30 different languages are spoken in your homes. I mean, we are a multicultural hodgepodge, and it makes us so strong to be that way. And we have to celebrate it. And an attack on any one of us, any one of the groups that assemble the population of Abraham Lincoln High School is really an attack on all that we stand for. So we've been thinking about that. Obviously, we want to partner with the PTA in this, in celebrating what is so great about our school. And so it's something for us to be really thinking about seriously over the break, and to come very, very focused, back in when we come back in January. And we will come back. Don't believe the rumors, right? And make things even better, right? It's almost like that thing that it's a little bit of a cliche, whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger, but sometimes it does. And I think this is an opportunity for us to really discover and think about what we stand for. So that, Mrs. Scott, is really all I have to say. I welcome any questions or concerns that anyone wants to throw my way.
I don't see any questions yet. I do want to continue to thank you for you and your team, as always, on trying to keep everyone safe, not just with COVID, but safety in general. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. As you can tell, even Mr. Capizzo has his mask on while he's in school and there's nobody around him, so.
No, he's better than I am. I run into my office and I rip it off.
But the several times I have been at the school, I definitely feel safe, and I appreciate that. And I am sure the students, even though they may mouth off a little bit, they appreciate the time and the patience that you have with each and every single one of them. And I know that you take time to speak with each and every single one of them. Maybe not every single day, but I do know that you talk to them individually. And that's a very unusual character for principals to do. And I appreciate that you take that time with each and every single one of them.
Well, that really is the highlight of my day when I talk with students.
But with that, I got the link for the 6 p.m. I know that, like you said, you won't be on, but I will show the video as though you're here. I will make sure that it is presented, and I appreciate you doing that.
Okay, yes. For everyone who, I made a video which was, there's this horrible creaking noise in the middle of it when someone realized my office door is open and tried to shut it. And then I forgot that it's being filmed and I started to scratch my back. But beyond that, it's fairly okay. So the bottom line is I'm not quitting my day job, okay? I'm not,
And we look forward to seeing the Lincoln log, if not this month, definitely in early January when we return. That's the highlight of my month when I see the Lincoln log.
Are you like that with your son? He does
Worse.
He does like 3 good things and then you remind him of the thing he hasn't done?
Yes. But if no one else has any...
oh gosh, that Lincoln log thing. Oh no, right? My New Year's resolution is to be more efficient, okay?
Well, we're gonna make sure that our Lincoln somebody, Mr. Capizzo, will assist on reminding you.
Okay, good. I have to give, on Tuesday, I had my performance review, which is every semester. They come and just bother me all day. And of course, the general idea that you all know is that when you do a performance review, you try to get them focused on other things as soon as possible. And one of the things I did was I took the deputy superintendent to Mr. Capizzo's class. And it was wonderful, his class. The students were walking around, messing around with graphs. Learning can be fun, and the best learning is fun. His class was absolutely wonderful. It was a real treat.
And didn't you get awarded something on Tuesday? There was like a high performance award that you guys had received.
Well, she just said that we were mostly effective and highly effective. And so basically, that means you're not going to be fired this week. But it is nice, and it does represent something, that's really, really wonderful about this school. All right. The crazy bit was that she said normally we're going to get effective for culture, but because of the way you're responding to those leaflets, it's highly effective. So I told her that as soon as they arrest that person, I am going to thank her. I think it's a woman. I'm not sure. I'm going to thank her for raising my rating by strewing these racist pamphlets about. So there is an irony that sometimes when horrible things happen, your supervisor sort of takes note of the good things that the team at the school is doing all the time.
Well, I definitely appreciate all the hard work that you and your team does, because a reflection of what they do reflects on your outstanding performance. So you must be doing something right because they care.
Well, I am doing something right, but it's very easy when you have people who are motivated, who really, really care about the students. Parents, I don't mean to brag too much, but your children are in a good place, and they're in a good place because teacher for teacher, the Abraham Lincoln High School teachers really care about your child as a whole person, not just as a science student or an English student, as a whole person. And there we're very fortunate indeed.
Well, thank you. And there's still no questions. So with that being said, you have a great evening. You may physically see me on Monday because I have to stop in at the PTA room. And if I don't get to see you, you enjoy the holiday.
Okay, wonderful. And I do want to remind all parents to, don't hesitate to reach out if you do have concerns. It's a crazy, it's a crazy time of year in a year that's been extra crazy. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, me included, but absolutely anyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, now we're gonna move on to reading of the minutes. Yes. All right, go ahead.
Hi there. So can you hear me? Yes. So these are the minutes of the November general meeting. I want to remind everyone that these are posted on the school website. If you want the full text of the minutes, they are available up there. At our November meeting on 11/18, we talked about the election procedures, that we were having an election for 2 open positions. The principal did address the PTA discussing device distribution, and we discussed some school events that were upcoming, as well as some COVID cases. And if anyone wants to, stop by and meet the principal, he let everybody know where he could be located. The PTA elections commenced for the open positions of co-treasurer and corresponding secretary. Ms. Heather Hawley nominated herself to serve as corresponding secretary and was elected, and Ms. Attwood agreed to stay on as co-treasurer for the interim. We had the treasurer's report. Mr. Sandor talked about the September financial report, as well as we got an update on the New York City Vax bonus program. We had the secretary report and the president's report discussing the chocolate fundraiser sale. And we had committee reports from the attendance committee, along with Mr. Robinson adding some additional details about the attendance, the link between high attendance rates and graduation rates. And so that's why the school is focusing on attendance. Talked about the red flag attendance days. We had the Title I planning. They're discussing Title I planning for the upcoming year with the Teachers Corner. Mr. Molina and Mr. Capizzo discussed parent-teacher conference, but wanted parents to reach out in an ongoing discussion. Mr. Capizzo also went through some upcoming school events, and we had some discussion about the English Regents and the Navient system, senior bowling trips, other school events that were happening, and they suggested some options for if a student is struggling. There was a question about study groups that Mr. Capizzo was going to go back and discuss. We had an update on the school partnership initiative updates for the Operu, Pupil Path, and New York Schools account, and discussion of the food drive match. We reviewed the calendar with school marking period dates and PTA meetings, etc. And we had a Q&A session, and the meeting was adjourned at 7:56. Can someone please, I motion that these minutes be approved. Does somebody second?
I second.
Wonderful. The minutes are approved. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
the principal already, thank you
Yep.
very much, Ms. Sander. The principal already provided his briefing. I knew that he was busy, which is why I pushed him along. But for those who want to know about the principal's address that he was mentioned, that him and I were speaking about, I put it in the link. It'll be posted on the Abraham Lincoln website this evening, as well as the Facebook PTA account. Okay, moving on. We've already had the presentation. Again,
Mhm.
she had a very short time frame on being on. If you missed anything, of course, you can listen in on the video when we post it this evening, or of course, you can come back on at 6 o'clock if you have any questions that you would like for her to answer. Moving on.
All right.
Treasury report.
Yep. The November Treasurer's Report, we have received some additional dues and donations. We did have some additional reimbursements back in October for some fundraising that took place. Starting balance $1,272.59, and now we are at $1,090.99. Previous meeting, we were discussing the vaccine bonus. The good news is that program has been extended. The bad news is groups have a somewhat higher threshold now in terms of vaccine referrals. So in the past, our expectation was to receive some funds in early December, and that date looks like it's been pushed back now with program extension to sometime either in January or in February. And so I know we as a PTA have done numerous outreach events and are hopeful that they will be successful and will result in some additional funds as well from vaccine bonuses. Also, the chocolate sale, we are expecting some additional information about that. That program, of course, has also concluded. So again, those funds are not yet recorded because this report is through the end of November. So that is where we are right now at our treasurer's report.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Anybody have any issues or concerns about the treasury report or any inquiries?
Goes without saying, of course, any contributions are always accepted. And I know at some point in the meeting, I'll either myself or someone else will drop a link to Cheddar Up, which is our online platform for dues and contributions and that sort of thing. So again, any contributions, of course, are always appreciated at any time. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say that at least once every meeting.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Usually in person, we have people donate $5. If anyone can, even if it's just $1, really goes a long way. Mr. Sandor, we have some upcoming events that we'll
Yes.
be going for. Do you want to discuss that now, or do you have a slide for that?
Yeah, let's hold that until we get to the fundraising.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay, great.
All right, then if that's the case, I don't see any questions. Their PTA dues donation link is in the chat,
Mhm.
and we'll move on to the next slide. Thank you very much. The Secretariat report. Ms. Sandor and Ms. Hawley?
Well, we just want to welcome Miss Hawley, who is joining the PTA Executive Board as corresponding secretary. And she actually was able to arrange Miss Lena Speir's attendance at this meeting. So we thank her for our efforts and are looking forward to, some projects next year. Miss Hawley, would you like to discuss the bylaw committee?
Yeah, so I guess we need to do a few updates to our bylaws. So I'll be sending out an email with calls for volunteers after the holidays, and hopefully we can get started in January. I don't think it will be too much work. So if anybody's interested, it looks like just a few changes that need to be made. But anyway, if you want to put your name in the chat, or you can email the PTA at the email listed there, and I will contact you, and hopefully we can get started.
Hi, sorry, somebody was knocking on the door. Yeah, so if anybody would like to go and partake in the bylaws committee, we're looking at least 4 people. When we originally did this about a year ago, it did take up some time, but most of the changes that need to be done is already annotated in a link that I posted. The the new bylaws of November 2021. So take a look at it. And if you're interested, please message us or email us or post in the chat. Moving on. All right, I really have nothing to say except, of course, continue to be safe and be aware of your surroundings, being that it's the holidays. Of course, you got everybody looking for something, so just be very careful. Moving on. Okay, finance fundraising committee. Mute.
Sorry about that. Yep. So the chocolate sale I mentioned earlier has ended, and it was delicious, at least the chocolates that we bought. So we are expecting some additional communication from the world's finest chocolate folks as well. And we will definitely keep everyone involved as well. And I mentioned the vaccine bus as well in the treasurer's report. But the guidance we have from the vaccine referral bonus program originally, as I mentioned before, was for, I think it was under 20 vaccination referrals. You received some funds in December. With the program being extended, the minimum threshold has been raised a bit. So we have not, as of today, received notice of funds just yet. We do expect those funds, whatever referral bonuses we have. At this point, it's unclear how many we have. And so I don't want to speculate about how many, what the exact number is at this point, because it's kind of premature. But I am hopeful that we did receive a number of vaccine referral bonuses. Mentioned the PTA volunteers on several occasions have gone out and done outreach for vaccine bonuses. So we'll continue to wait for that. Then on this slide here, our fundraising goals for this year, though, and I know we've been mentioned this in past meetings as well, sponsoring the attendance extravaganza. One of the ways that the PTA, of course, can support the school is to make sure that students are able to be in school to learn, and the attendance extravaganza helps students increase their attendance, and we are, of course, supportive of that. And then the food drive match for Opera Pupil Path, I think that's also an agenda item a little bit later, and so I'll leave that for later. So I'm just going to go on to the next slide here. So this is some information about the actual vaccine shot. For those folks who are in the meeting who have not yet gotten their first vaccine, of course, you are still eligible for a bonus yourself and, of course, for the school. However, if you've received your first vaccination shot, the second and any booster shots are unfortunately not eligible for any additional funds. It's only the first shot that is eligible for your individual bonus and also for the school match. All right. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, any other questions on the on finance committee? No. Okay.
I don't see anything in the chat.
Nothing in the chat. All right.
No.
Fantastic.
The next one is the attendance committee. Is Mr. Jones speaking that, or would you like to?
Either one of us can do it. I can start, and then Mr. Jones can jump in if there's anything I missed. So, yep. So Mr. Jones and I met with the Mr. Robinson and many members of the Lincoln staff in their committee, in the attendance committee, where we looked at some attendance data and broke out into groups to brainstorm approaches to help students, again, increase their attendance. The idea being that students learn best, of course, when they're in school. So to get the kids, students in school as much as possible. So there was some discussion about different incentives and different programs, different approaches, and some ideas were collected, and I know Mr. Jones and myself, and I think Mr. Capizzo were all in this meeting as well. So yeah, but it was my first attendance committee meeting, and went well, and glad that the PTA could be a part of this committee as well. Not sure if there's anyone else who attended the meeting who wanted to add some additional information.
Basically, the attendance extravaganza is to award the kids have games for coming to school, and like Mr. Sandor said, it's also about increasing attendance for every child, so it could be even bigger. Also, we're also looking into awarding kids that actually bringing is not as great as the ones that are in the attendance extravaganza, but they're actually making their way to school.
Yep.
And that's all I have to add right now.
Yep.
Also, matter of fact, that I believe is going to be January 14th, right?
Yep, I believe so.
I believe so. When I was speaking with Mr. Robinson earlier this week, he was tentative for the 14th of January, pending what the committee, the school committee had come up with.
There's a question in the chat. It says,
My understanding is that the attendance committee meets once a month, the first Monday of the month. Is that, I believe is what my calendar says. So yes.
Yes.
So once a month. Last I saw, there were probably 20 or so people on the attendance committee, including faculty, staff, school guidance, and others. But of course, if you have questions about the attendance committee, definitely speak to Mr. Robinson, who leads that work. Okay.
All
No
right,
other questions? All right.
nothing heard, nothing asked. We're gonna move
Okay.
on. Thank you, gentlemen.
now for the fun stuff. What we did was the PTA, we have a December basket giveaway. The basket is for the holiday. One basket is a spa basket. So it's one basket we're gonna run with the parents on, and you'll get to choose. You either can choose whoever wins. You'll either choose from the spa basket or the candy basket. The basket will be able, you can pick it up from the school, of course. After it'll be at the school starting tomorrow morning. But it'll be there. We'll give each, is Ms. Scott, is it okay now to give the parents the numbers? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to
I'm-
get mute.
I've got the spin wheel ready to go, but just making sure that the folks who are eligible are listed in here.
So I see another parent just dropped off. I'm keeping track. I'm just marking her. If she comes back, she's okay. But we're starting with number 20, if that's okay, Mr. Sandor.
Number 20, okay.
Yeah, so
Sure.
Miss, is it okay, parents? Are you able to just so we can see who we're talking to? If it's okay, if it's not, it's fine. Just to see who you are. Lisa Min, am I pronouncing it correct? Menu? Please correct me. Menu. Got it. Miss Lisa Menu, you are number 20. Miss Trinice Sutton, are you on still?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, great. You're number 2121. And if I have it right, Valrica Crooks, do I have that right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, there you go. I'm just trying to make sure. Miss Crooks, you're number 2222. We lost 2 parents, so I can't give, well, they're not here, so I can't give their numbers. So that's what, Mr. Sandor, that's all I have right now.
So I have Miss Lisa Manu as number 20, Miss Trinice Sutton as 21, Valrica Crook as 22, and Kim Walcott as 23. Is that correct?
She dropped off.
Oh,
I don't see Miss Walcott no more. Right. I don't
Alright.
see Miss Walcott and I don't see Miss Brisma. So they dropped off. So I can't call them out. They dropped off a little bit too early.
All right. We'll move on with the slides
So
just to get through.
just want to
and
let
if-
you know that, okay, go ahead, Miss Scott. I was just gonna let them know we're
Yeah.
gonna do the drawing after a little while, just letting
Yep.
you know your numbers now. So you'll keep your number in mind and then you'll be able to choose either a spa basket or the candy basket. Right before the drawing, I'll show you the baskets, just so whoever wins, you get to choose. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Just keep an eye.
Mhm.
If you can, if they do come back on, just message them privately, please.
Of course, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on.
Yep.
We just discussed the extravaganza. Thank
Yep.
you. Tentative date is the 14th of January.
Yep.
Now we have the Title I. They unfortunately aren't going to be on at this moment, but we have a we have a questionnaire that they would like everyone, if possible, to include PTA to sign in and make comments. So basically, it's a parent engagement questionnaire for the Title I. They would like to go and bring in some talking points, some workshops for the families that has no affiliation with the PTA. But these are Title I events that we have funding for, that we were able to go and reach out of the school and be able to get. Some of the topics that they've mentioned is financial planning, trivia night, meditation, cooking classes, fitness, social services, public assistance, career readiness, and then there's another box that you can go and annotate something else. Also, if you require translation services during the workshops, they'll be able to work with trying to get one for you. So I popped in the link in the chat. I'm sorry, in the chat, I popped in the link. We'll also, I've seen it posted on Facebook, and they're also going to post it on the Abraham Lincoln website. So if you can please take the time, the Title I team has worked very hard in trying to get this form together. They've had several meetings over these past couple of weeks. So I would greatly appreciate that everyone that's on now provide the support, sign in. Even if it doesn't interest you, just click on something. The trivia night looks really good. But any support, and if you feel that you can provide some support, you have some contacts that would benefit the Title I team, please let them know. All right. Ms. Brown, did I miss anything on that one? No, okay.
All right.
Thank you. No questions. I'm gonna move on. Teacher's Corner. Where's my somebody? I know he's there somewhere.
No, I'm here.
There he goes. Awesome. All right. I know some questions that I have, and I know most of the 11th and 12th graders may have, is regents. And of course, most importantly, when the school kind of cut out for next week? How important, if there's any homework packets, anything that anyone should be worried about? And I hear there's some after school and Saturday programs. So if you can discuss all that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. All right. So I'll go through some general announcements and then I'll pencil in any questions anything I missed from what Ms. Scott has asked me to bring up. So don't worry about it. All right. So first quick little announcements. If it was Again, I came in a little late because I was teaching until 3:30, but just wanted to fill in a couple things. First off, we wanted to say congratulations with the parent engagement drive. We raised over 100 pounds of food. We wanted to thank PTA and all parents who registered online for the communication platforms. We were able to raise 100 pounds of food for City Harvest and through the ALHS food drive. So it was absolutely fantastic. So we wanted to say thank you for that. Second, we wanted to bring up that right now, we want to make sure that all parents, just keep reminding their kids about the mask right now. We've had a little bit of an outbreak at one of our events, which looks like it's starting to get settled down from it. But, we just want to make sure that we stay safe before the holidays come, because it is definitely, COVID still exists if you didn't know. Also, just to let everyone know that there's going to be a FAFSA filing dinner for any students that are getting ready for college. At Lincoln, we're going to be doing a FAFSA dinner night where you can complete your FAFSA with assistance from the school and also be sustenance from the dinner. It will be taking place on January 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the ALHS library. All attendees must show proof of vaccination upon entry. You must RSVP, which you can do that through the ALHS website. There is a link for it. I'll attach the link in the chat here. And also the student and the parent must have a FAFSA ID before the event, which is one of the links that's there as well. And then make sure that you bring your documents for it, such as your social security number, registration, tax form from 2020, all that kind of stuff. It's all outlined on the announcements. And just make sure you please bring your school issued laptop device with you, so then you have it all set to go. So please, it's listed online through the ALHS website. There's an announcement for it. So, just get signed up for it. That would be absolutely great. Do you want me to post that link to sign up for it, Miss Scott? All right, I'll do that now. Okay.
Yes, please.
No problem. All right, so this is for anyone who wants to sign up for FAFSA. I'll do that now. Post it to everyone. Okay.
You said anyone. Can you specify what you
No,
mean
it's
by
only for right now. It's only for those that are getting ready for college. So anyone that has to sign up for college right now for the 12th grade, that's the ones who can sign up for FAFSA. Unfortunately, it's not open for anyone for 9th, 10th, and 11th at this time. I know that because I've never seen it where we do that. We should open it where maybe 11th, maybe there could be a discussion for 11th graders to go to a FAFSA so they know what that is, just to get the process rolling at some point. Another announcement, just to let everyone know, as you know, if for any chance a student is quarantined, they must still notify the school, and they'll be taking their attendance online with the Microsoft Teams. So that specific information is done. Also, and Mr. Hoogenboom mentioned in it about the lesson that happened today for the incident that occurred on Monday. We did it during 5th period. For my side, it went really well and really enjoyable. Now to talk about, I guess, all the things Ms. Scott was saying. So we go all the way till Thursday, December 23rd, okay? And that's the last day of school. And we come back from break on January 3rd. Now, a couple of things about that, so everyone knows. The teachers will be giving out, if there's anything to do over break, it will be up to teachers' discretion. If there's maybe a packet or something to get students ready. But January is a very fast month. The reason why January is a very fast month is because the marking period for January will end January 14th, the 3rd marking period. And then the last week where we are in person, which is the week of the 17th, will be for any final adjustments to the final grade, okay? And then Regents Week will start the 24th. So just to pull that up, I can let you guys know about the Regents exams for January. Okay. So the Regents exam schedules for January right now. So actually, the 20, just pulling up my calendar. Okay. So the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, and the 24th are all days to get ready for the actual Regents. I mean, for the final grades for the final semester. Okay. During that time, usually they'll give like kind of like a final or like something to go on just to get the final grades in. Usually with math, we do like a mock Regents. Not sure. Again, we have to discuss that. But the Regents will take place the 25th. On that day, January 25th, you have the ELA Regents at 9:15. So all juniors, 11th graders will be taking that Regents that day. And then at 1:15 will be the living environment. Those are for those who have to take it. Then you have the Algebra Regents, 9:15 on the 26th, the Geometry Regents at 1:15. Global History will be 9:15 on January 27th, and the Algebra 2 Regents will be that same day at 1:15. And then Friday, it'll be Earth Science and Chemistry. Right now, I definitely know 100% every junior will be taking the ELA Regents Tuesday, January 25th. I say 9:15, but actually it's usually earlier. I usually get them in by 8:30. Okay, because I think we do from 9 to 12 is our exam times. Okay, so that's a definite. And then after that, January 31st is when they get their report cards, and they'll get their new programs or new schedules, which very rare there's a new schedule. It's usually the same, and we start back up the new semester on the 1st. During the month of January, on the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd, the E&L department will be doing tutoring for to get ready for the Regents, as well as regular tutoring. That will be open for math, science, social studies, and English. And then as far as Regents tutoring is concerned, we will be opening up Saturday school for the Regents starting up in February. We'll open it up with algebra, and then slowly but surely open it up with living environment and history and all that stuff. So more guidance will be forthcoming about more information with that. And is there anything else I missed, Ms. Scott?
Those are the questions that came to me. Does anyone else have any questions?
Ms. Sandor, you said if no Regents, kids do not attend. That is correct. Kids do not attend unless they have a Regent scheduled. So the last in-person day in the month of January will be the 24th. And then the 25th, it starts with the Regents. And if you're scheduled, you come in. If you're not, you're not. Any other questions?
And at present time, there's still no waivers.
No waivers. Waivers were given last year, or last year and a half. So, you know, the best thing to know if your student has to take a Regent is two ways. If you go on to, let me just double check before I share. First off, the student will receive in January a paper that will let them know when they're scheduled and for what time for Regent. So that's the first thing, that the student will be notified about it. Let me look up a student just for a second. Yeah, okay, that was easy. All right, so usually what you could do is that if you go online to Pupil Path and you go to the section that talks about exams, Next to the exam, it'll have a mark that says WA. That means that the exam was waived, okay? Which means that they don't have to take the exam, okay? If they don't have the exam waived, then that means they must take the exam. So the exams that you need to have no matter what is 1 math, 1 science, both global and US history, and ELA. Fortunately, or unfortunately, all juniors were freshmen when this pandemic occurred. So the juniors have been pretty much waived for a while now with their exams. However, this will be the first year where we will have a cohort juniors taking the Regents for the first time, which is, and that, of course, the first one is ELA of all things. So that's the situation with that. So it really depends on the teacher's discretion, Ms. Sandor, if they are like any mid-year. Usually what we do regions.
Can you
just to
repeat
check-
that sentence? You can't, that whole sentence was muted.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. My apology. So yeah, so we don't usually do mid-year. Okay, a set like a midterm, I guess is the way that we used to think of back in the day. We usually do like a mock Regents that we'll give like during that week before the Regents, just to assess like students' understanding. It usually isn't tied to grades. It's just to assess where we are at this point. So like that's what will probably happen for geometry. And other than that, any other questions? Did I hit everything, Ms. Scott?
I believe you did. I just want to repeat one more time. The Regents for January, and I'm not going to go off times or days,
Right.
is ELA, Living Environment, Algebra, Algebra 2, Global History, Geometry, Earth Science, and Chemistry.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And I think there was just one more question. So there is actually a section in Pupil Path. If you go to a student's portfolio, there's a section that does like their schedule, their grades, and there's something that says exams. So it literally, so if it doesn't show, let me go on Pupil Path. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see where that would be located. I got to go on Pupil Path directly. Hang on. Let me see where I can find that. Log in as. Let me see where I would find that. Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, so here's how you can find it. If you wanted, oh, it doesn't show the waiver. All right.
I actually just followed the instructions that Ms. Brown mentioned.
Yeah.
If you sign in and you go under assessments, she is correct. It does list all the tests and it'll say whether they've been absent or whether it's been waived.
Yeah.
But it doesn't state whether it have any upcoming ones.
Right. It just mentions, yeah, if you go to assessments, it'll say high school exam history, and then you can actually see from there that stuff. So, and if it says WA, that means it was waived. And that's how you can find that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm using a student. So. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And other than that, I don't know. Is that good?
I believe so.
All right. Cool.
If there's any other questions, by all means, please, if you see it in the chat, annotate it and we'll try to capture anything. I believe you're not going to be on at 6, correct?
No. Well, I was supposed to go to this holiday party, but unfortunately, I'm going to decline from going because after everything that's been happening, I'm just going to play safe. So
I appreciate that.
I might drop in, but text me what time so I can make these announcements again. Does that sound good?
And that's why I want to see if, even if you can just come off for 10, 15 minutes, if you
That's
pop
fine.
on around, say, 7-ish.
Okay,
Then as soon as I see you, as soon as that person is done, I'll have you chime right in.
that's fine. That's a good little trade.
Okay. I think that'll be perfect. Thank you. Because I did take notes, but you say it's so much better.
No problem.
All right. So moving on, I don't see any questions. Thank you. Old business, move on. We have a final update, as Mr. Capizzo said. Yes, we got 100 pounds. So 50 pounds is coming from the school itself, and additional 50, as Mr. Robinson says, on the hook for 50 pounds as well. So we are working, the team is working on collecting those goods and should have it to the school by Monday, as well as we will be providing some additional items for the food baskets, which is separate from the food drive. And we're looking at collecting about 9 items for 9 baskets. There we go. Okay. With that said, we're going to move on. New business. Next. There is no new business. We're just going to discuss additional website links. Most of those links we've posted throughout the afternoon. I'm sorry. Yes, the afternoon. We're not evening yet. We posted throughout the afternoon. Continue if you haven't already. Please sign up for Pupil Path, New York City Schools accounts, Operu. The school's website is very important. I have to say, in the past year, they have definitely gotten a lot better with communication. If you feel that there is still some communication that's not being put out there, let us know. They do try their best with phone blasts, but occasionally they still put more information out on MS Teams directly to the students. And the school is working on trying to ensure that it's passed on to families, but sometimes they forget. Their priority is the students, and they're hopeful the students will pass that information on. All right. Also, we have Facebook. If you want to get some information, we try very hard to go and keep that updated. And that's more for the parents. The Instagram, that's more for the students, but some parents also get on as well because there's a lot of information. They're concentrating lately on senior events and senior dues and senior pictures, which I think has passed already, but that is great information. Moving on. Parent engagement school contact tree. This is posted not just on our site, but also on, thank you, but also on the Abraham Lincoln website. I have found in the past 3 years, if I am, for whatever reason, not getting the answers I want from my son's teachers, I go directly to their to my son's guidance counselor. And 99% of the time that the resolution is quicker than expected. If for some reason the guidance counselor can't help me and the teachers can't help me, then I start going into the administrative staff, the assistant principal. With the very, very last person, if I've exhausted all options, is then the principal, and he will definitely ensure there's corrective action immediately. But I like to try to get everyone involved first before I reach him. That's just advice. You can go about it any way you want, but definitely the guidance counselors, they're superb. And what's great about them is that if you started at 9th grade with one guidance counselor, you pretty much stay with them for the rest of the time that you're in Abraham Lincoln, unless for some reason something changes. But most of the time, Ms. Capizzo, am I correct? Most of the time, it's the same guidance counselor throughout their entire 4 years.
All the time.
All the time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on. As discussed before, here is the New York City DOE school calendar 2021-2022. Right now we're in January, and same dates is pretty much what Mr. Capizzo posted. is in reference to winter recess starting on next Friday all the way until the 31st, which then the kids would return on the 3rd. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, then you have next month, you have Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, where everyone is off, Regents and Administration Week, and then Professional Development Day, where students do not attend on January 31st. Is that correct? But they would
Correct.
come in for their report card. Well, will they be physically going in for report cards and their new assignments, or is that unknown?
That's probably a yes. That
Okay.
sounds like a very hard, that sounds like a strong yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said school starts on February 1st, but schools are closed that day.
Oh, woohoo, we're celebrating Lunar New Year. Didn't know. So we're back the 2nd. Okay.
Okay, so just even though we don't normally go 2 months ahead, February 2nd is when they return.
Gotcha.
Next, I believe is is the Abraham Lincoln School website. That pretty much condenses everything that's going on in the school. Right now, we're on the 16th, so the biggest events other than the holiday sweater and the red flag attendance will, of course, be winter recess is what it's called now. Yes,
Woohoo.
winter recess.
Yes.
And then they will return, of course, on the 3rd, with the end of the marking period being the 7th. Next slide. And just a reiteration of what I said with the DOE slide. And just a reminder that it's the 2nd of February is when they return, when Regents occurs.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Okay. Ms. Brown and Mr. Sandor, I think this is the spinning of the wheel time, is it not?
Okay.
Hey,
Are
well,
there-
Okay, hold on. I see that we
Yep.
have
Make
one
sure.
or two more families.
Yep.
no, just, there's another question before.
Oh, yes. Mr. Capizzo, that's your question. Is the 23rd be a short day? I'm assuming
The
they're
24th, you mean?
referencing December 23rd?
No, that's the full day.
No, I'm asking if they meant December 23rd.
Probably
Yes,
mentioning
December
December.
23rd is a full day?
That's a full day.
Okay.
Okay. So before we start the drawing, Miss Audrey Barrett, right here. Miss Barrett,
Hi.
hi. Just want to make sure it was a live person or whatever. Just making sure you're there.
Oh, no, yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you missed the intro, but we're about to now have a holiday basket drawing.
Okay.
So each parent is being given a number. So I'm giving you number 23. That's 23.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can you reiterate the numbers one more time, please?
Of course.
Yes.
This is, you want to take it away, Mr. Sandor?
Actually, I if you
I can do it.
yeah, if you don't mind, just because this way I can
Got you.
double check as you're
So Miss Lisa Minu is number 20. Miss Trinice Sutton is 21. Sorry, my background. 21.
Yep.
Miss Valrika Crooks is number 22.
Mhm.
And as I said, Miss Audrey Barrett, you're number 23. That's 23.
All right.
So just to bring you up to speed, everyone, I'll repeat again that one basket is a spa basket, which I'll show you. So it's only one winner this evening, and then we'll this afternoon, and then we'll have another drawing at the 6 p.m. PTA. But you can, if you win today, if you win in at 3 o'clock, you can't win in at 6 o'clock.
Correct.
So here's the, if you can see it, it's a basket. This box is like a keepsake box. You can see everything. There's, I don't know if you can see it from my angle. Anywho, there's some spa stuff in this one. The bath salts, the spa stuff is from Bath and Body Works. Hope no one's allergic. But and here's the candy one. It's a Oreo cookie cup candy, peppermints, and so forth. And this is what we have. We normally have it for teachers too, so maybe at our 6 o'clock, I'll just show you. We have baskets for teachers as well. So it's a candle inside. You can't really see it, but it's a scented candle. Background with a cutesy little teddy bear and old school Pez Pops and chocolate on the side. And each basket comes with a card from the PTA. So whoever wins the basket, once Mr. Sandor does the drawing, you can
Okay.
pick the straw or you can pick the candy.
Okay, so just want to make sure everyone can see my screen here. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, so everyone here has a 1 in 4 chance of winning. Fantastic. All right, unless there's any other objections, I will spin the wheel right now. Right. Aha.
Yay.
And we have a winner. Yay.
So thank you, Miss Lisa Minu.
Oh, yes. Woohoo. Yay. Thank you. How exciting.
Yeah. So you can get to choose which basket you'd like if you tell me now, the candy or the spa one.
Oh
And-
my gosh. That's such a hard choice, but I think I'll go with the candy.
Okay. Cool. So the baskets, I'll bring them to this. They'll be at the school tomorrow morning. So we'll, if you can, I guess, how can we get her email, Miss Scott? You want her to email it to?
She can either send me or Miss Sandor a private message, and then we'll email Mr. Robinson and CC her so that the coordination will be made through him, because he's the one. You'll have to fight the chocolates with him.
Uh-oh.
Yes, don't worry. Mr. Capizzo will keep his eyes on that. We won't let him eat them. But yeah, it should be there, like Ms. Brown says, by tomorrow. But I'll email both you and him this evening so we can try to get that coordination in once he gets in. I don't think he's off tomorrow. That would be the only delay, is if it's for some reason he's out tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, with that said, I don't think we have anything else except to say we do have a 6 o'clock meeting. You're more than welcome to come back and listen. Otherwise, we will see you on January 20th, but please, if at all possible, think about joining one of our committees, either the extravaganza committee, where we really need some great ideas on setting it up. And yes, Ms. Brown, I'll give you a moment if we could do that. And the second thing is our bylaws. It really isn't that hard. It's pretty much already set up. We just need a team coming together saying, yes, this is we agree to how the new bylaws are being set up. The team that did it last year, they did a phenomenal job and really made some major changes. So the changes that are coming in will be minuscule. Ms. Brown, I already saw. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Maybe somebody who just won a basket. Maybe she might want to think about it. I'll speak with her offline.
Yeah, please do.
Ms. Brown, before we come off, would you like to do that next thing?
Yeah. So as I said, we normally have a basket for a parent, and we'll have a gift for a parent, we have a gift for a teacher. So since we have our phenomenal teacher, Mr. Somebody, Mr. Sandor, we're going to run the wheel. Can we run the wheel one good time?
Yes, we can. If you just give me 1 second. All right. Do you have a list of who is?
Let me give you this long list. Right, just write Michael Capizzo.
And then and the second person is Michael Capizzo.
Right.
That's right. Let's see.
Teacher,
Make it different between Michael Capizzo and Mr. Michael Capizzo.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you want to give it, you want to like have some element of chance there. Is that what you're saying?
I'll take the chance. I like the chance idea. That's good.
I see.
Yeah,
All right.
that's good.
Well,
Somebody and then Mr. Capizzo.
Yep.
All right. Because right now it's just you have Mr. Capizzo has 100% chance of winning. So
Okay. That's
I
good.
mean,
That's good. That's good, right?
those are good odds, yeah.
I think that's good odds. Okay, good.
Well, Mr. Capizzo, this will be all yours.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And
Yes.
it's a scented candle. You can't really see it because it's in the
You
box.
didn't show the spinner.
It's okay. I believe in
Oh, I
him.
didn't show the
I like
spinner?
Sanders. I like Sanders' look. It's okay.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Sanders, I
sorry.
was watching your video the whole time, so it's
He's a
perfect.
You are?
firm
All right, good.
believer that he won.
Oh, no.
I just want to share that the candle, Mr. Capizzo, it was actually made by a 12-year-old. She
Oh,
started her own business. She's
perfect.
a neighbor of mine, so it's a scented candle. It smells great. I'm sure you'll love it.
Oh, my love will love it. Perfect. Good.
There you go.
There you go. Beautiful.
Ah,
This won't count as a Christmas gift for her.
Right. Don't
Good
read.
try.
No
What do you
read.
mean? What do you mean?
here,
Oh, come on. What do you mean? This is easy. This is you just saved me a few bucks. Come on now.
No, not a Christmas gift.
and just for the record,
There we go.
you can see my screen, yes.
Relax.
I like
Mr.
I like how
Capizzo
it
won.
says Mr. Capizzo as the whole record. I just want to
Right.
acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I can spin it again, just,
No, it's okay.
You
I
sure?
believe I won. I believe I won.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So if there's no questions, we're actually gonna come to a close. Does anyone want to second that closure?
I second that.
I second that.
All
I
right,
gotta go.
Miss Attwood is gonna be so proud of us today. We finished a whole half hour early. All right, everyone, enjoy the holidays. Be safe and be merry.
Yep.
Take care. We'll see you on January 20th, 2022.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.